The alien from Wuhan, China, charged with making false statements and smuggling biological materials into the U.S. for work at the University of Michigan laboratory. Wait a second. Doesn't this seem familiar? Doesn't this seem like something we covered last? No, it's a different one. Another one. So this is a completely different student working at the same university, smuggling different biological materials into the USA.
I saw aliens.
Yeah. Oh, I'm an alien too.
You are?
Yeah. So the U.S. said it has arrested another Chinese researcher accused of smuggling biological material.
It's a ringworm, a type of ringworm, I believe.
Mm-hmm. So she's studying different kinds of ringworms. That's who she is. Chung
Xuan.
Yeah. Is facing federal charges after her detention hearing was postponed at her attorney's request. Guys, I think we're starting to see a pattern here.
Yeah. You think?
I think that China doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
I think that China doesn't care about permits and laws and is very happy to allow this kind of thing to go forward.
You know what's a good thing to piggyback off of this?
Yeah.
Is what's going on with the chip exports. Mm-hmm. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, they're just taking their hard drives out of China.
Yeah.
They go to a country where there are no chip exports, somewhere in the Middle East or Malaysia or whatever, Singapore, it doesn't matter. They just choose anywhere you want. They take their hard drives out, they go set up their server in that country, do all the research using the chips, they bring the chips into that country, and then take all the data on the hard drives back into China.
Yeah.
That's simple.
That's to get around the chip ban in America.
Of course.
No,
anyway,
they just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
But
dude, I got to tell you one thing. University of Michigan, what's wrong with you?
Why does everything keep happening there?
Remember last week we went in maybe a bit too in depth, but we showed all the different things that have been linked to the University of Michigan.
Recently.
Very recently. All the spying on military bases.
Yeah.
The multiple felony things that have happened by Chinese nationals studying.
Agricultural weapon that was brought in a couple weeks, or the report was a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
It's just crazy. So now just another one. So this ringworm, is it ringworm, roundworm? It's
ringworm, I believe.
Yeah, either way. She was studying this stuff in China and sending the samples of probably different types of ringworms or roundworms or whatever.
I don't know the details. I just know some sort of worm.
Yeah. Apparently she sent through the post. And that's the problem. She sent 4 different biological samples. I mean, this
Back to China or from?
No, from China
from
to
China to here.
Guys, doesn't this sound like the plot for a very bad movie? Mm-hmm. We're like,
roundworm, sorry.
So roundworm, yes. So they're sending like biological things of whatever nature. You don't know. Some of them may be benign. Some of them may be very dangerous. Who knows?
Yeah.
But through the postal system. It's kind of like the anthrax scares back in the day. Who knows? You got a postal worker handles it or something, gets the spores on his gloves. It ends up in the wild. It ends up affecting everything. So China's sending stuff through the mail. They're smuggling it in their shoes.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's also on the person.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're smuggling it in their wads of tissues in their backpacks.
Yeah.
To bring it in to America, to clone it in the universities, as we found it last time, and to mess around with it. This is dangerous stuff.
Potentially release it to delete our food supply so that America can't be self-sufficient with food.
So without harping on about this anymore, we need massive scrutiny on anyone that's studying anything that's potentially dangerous in
National
the
security,
USA.
Military research, or ties to the CCP.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you've got a Chinese national that's in and out of China, that's studying something that can potentially be dangerous here,
sensitive, right?
You need to have a huge amount of scrutiny. You need to be checking what they're being sent in the mail. You need to be checking what they're bringing every single time they come back and forth. This has to be scrutinized because this is dangerous. Who knows what slipped through?
Who knows?
Remember that lab they found in California, a year ago, which had like Ebola, HIV, all these like ridiculous, what did it have? Like smallpox?
All those,
I don't know. Like
mice and
stuff?
stuff?
They had mice that they'd been experimenting on in like a warehouse in Bakersfield.
And nobody's talking about it. It was only the select committee on the CCP was putting stuff out about it.
Guys, something sus is going on. Keep an eye on this. Let's move on. This woman was in Milan.
Okay.
And the airline was like, your bag is overweight. You cannot fly with your bag being overweight. You're going to have to pay extra.
Okay.
Because, she loaded it up with who knows what.
So this Chinese woman in Milan, Italy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just want to be clear.
Okay. Yes. And so this was her reaction.
Tantrum.
Yeah, roll around as a tantrum, having a tantrum on the floor. Something that I've been very passionate about. I made several videos about that. We brought it up on the show. But China's illegal fishing fleets that are going around the entire earth and destroying the fish stocks.
Not only that, they act as a militia and a rogue navy.
They do. So somebody was flying over this the sea here, and they noticed all of the lights on the illegal fishing boats.
Yeah.
Okay, what's that? Well, how do you say that?
Mollendo,
Peru. You can see here they're looking exactly where they are. So
what are they looking at the bottom there?
who knows, dude? But yeah, I just wanted to say they turn off their transponders, and that's how they get in, because they hang around outside of the actual territorial waters during the day, and then at night they turn off the transponder so you can't track them.
Yeah.
Then they go in there and they just fish all night and destroy the stock.
They also use slave labor.
Oh, there's so many problems with the illegal fishing fleets, and
remember they capture people to work on them. They capture like islanders.
They do. It's awful. And the problem is these smaller countries, they don't have the resources to tackle this. They don't have a robust coast guard.
No.
So this is kind of funny. We've got the Chinese coast guard harassing Filipino, basically
a little dinghy.
This little dinghy. Now you see that boat in the background there? That is a Philippine sovereign territory.
Yes.
Okay, they've got troops on that boat.
Yeah,
they keep them there all the time because these are Filipino waters.
Yeah.
Okay, and so they try to resupply them. Obviously, they're out there on a boat. They're going to need supplies. They need food and that sort of thing. But the Chinese Coast Guard always tries to stop them because they hate that boat. It's a ship, really, not a boat. But they hate that ship. You know what I mean? They're like, that piece of ship got to get out of here.
Go back to Philippines.
China. It's not China. This is not China. This is the Philippines.
This is China. Go back to Philippines.
Is it China, Mr. PLA guy?
Yeah, let's have a look.
Or Mr. Coast Guard guy?
Yeah, can you see? China's all the way up there. This red dot, that's where that ship is.
Literally next to the Philippines.
Yes.
It is, you see, this is kind of disingenuous because the map makes it look like Vietnam is part of China.
Yeah.
That's Vietnam. Yes. China's all, is that island? Basically, that little nubbin island.
Up there, you see the island? That's,
That's the farthest south China goes.
Yeah.
That is so far away from the Philippines, it's not even, or from this ship, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
So how dare you say that's China?
Exactly.
In fact, let's look at some stats.
We asked, it's just like Google.
Yeah, let's say we asked Google. So how far away is that ship from China where they are?
1,000 kilometers away.
How far is it
China.
from the Philippines?
540, so half.
So shut up.
Yeah.
Go away.
It's Philippines.
That's not yours.
That is Philippines.
That's Philippines.
Yes, correct.
Go back to China.
Exactly. Just do it.
Oh,
gosh. Ridiculous.
I remember you left my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember.
A lot of these videos are torture themed. So what we're gonna do is torture ourselves. So if you knock over the cards, you have to stick your hand in a bowl of ice water.
It's like, oh, but there's a cat. It's like,
what the? It's quite clear, isn't it? This is horrible.
Think of blizzards, the Arctic.
No, I didn't torture you.
Turns out that this was actually done by a Japanese animation studio.
Oh, holding your pee in.
Feeder type, that type of thing. Smelly socks,
Let her go home. I'll throw another sus card.
Yeah, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting somewhere.
Close my eyes, I can almost see it.